Wise asomdwe kan ososo nyankopon tinanim enkyerɛw ene anwumre onfiri soromo na onhyɛw onkomaw ma ade nyina nkomra emewie wuye ana yeba betwetwe nkomo kakra ene say ye bre no kɔ nanso momfa nkyɛ ye na ye papa Reverend Akufo usi bempa ene Sunday wakasa na me wo video no ofia me no beko video no mu na ya hwade say a break kakra atwamu ni ana Reverend Akufo usi bempa beka enyoma eha no after Kumasi program no na okasai ema yemu binom eba chechim na yenya nkrofo pin so wo Ghana eto won boase ehro papa no keka wona adwen sania onim otiase na ene Reverend Akufo usi bempa asan atenasi ato ne boase acheche enyoma no mu yie ti asam ne pa wato ne boase ayi ne mako atre die ntia odi yaw emredi me ya cheme said ya chi obia me ne problem ti asam ne yo nemum ekobasa me nko me kire no edanso a ti o me nko me kire no edanso a then me were right some bisa questions but oh my Ghana akoye oh my bia nyatwemfo doso what you say any enkanka ye media ye woso yi enkrofo wona dwemu ye ha edoso because enkrofo bi disika e manipulate won omo pay masters but on betna social media so omo pretend so omo ye angels ebini abrantie bi say friend good man na ready me ni oso nyankopon admo otena ensa bia okeka fa me ho ni nyina bedru me nsam so otena me no de be boss ofia what you say moya mo sa moya nyansafo ma mo nko na munim de ye ade papa bia ba mo nko na munim ba enkaka mo de senkrofo din mo ka fo fankrofo ka ma yesa de aise mo de mo ya ma mo tene ba mo kwan ya chuachu mo kwan ye tan good man o shase no ye mo binu kra kan se wo ye good o ya de ba me ka chewe ne se won kwan no wo sanchene agum wamanchene abruso enen kwan enchene de buso onkwan mu a yemfa nya hwe sana tie na me to me boase na mabe Reverend Akufo usi bempa video no a wo ye nene ne nsamo ka nene me to me boase abo na me no atie mu yie na yakom yie na me no wahwade wa ha se so na papa no deserve se ye this ad ne ye no sana na esa ne kire no kwa na mabisa me ho so many questions because me amankado di kan yi me sotie which a minim se manasi eya we ni am yen Sunday kasa ofon so e ma amankado ka kire yen se wo de yen twen enkosi Sunday ni en hwade e besi wo Ghana yen hwade e beto Reverend Akufo usi bempa enkopim Sunday da be na case ni sie why is Sunday de kwachi papa no e bra wo ya sorry why Ghana for fan quadrin dream Obia fan quadrin dream Sunday papa no ya sorry I got that me tra Ghana the police for them say on the omanum say oh yeah the party na police for about on the omanum I be say police for no nimra na say obi ye party on to me ko kwachi obi anti asem ne pa na Reverend Akufo usu bempa ye party according to a man crowd say ene papa no nsema wo kan ne no ya confirm nneoma bi amame nya say ya confirm a confirm nneoma bi amame pepepepepe amame wo say man crowd na o kan dia onim nya nu dwa keke o say me ho mpanimfo amame no mu gina phone so gurus omo ka say mpunu epunu a no mu gina phone so a now they me fam into fam na me hwa de be happen Ogusu bempa see an ogusu word my pop video audio natural pain my bot natural pain tio enti se papa no be kasa odi ya fi say ye pobo en ankrofo bi bofa no a ne nya Jimmy phobia sorry Ghana say enti ase se papa na be kasa na obi ye wade na ye wo ya na hye mu a unim se ku ana unim se ku e dey na cho sam no kire se yanke kan ye mrato encheche ye ho yanke kan kire e important a very important say obi ho ye ya wo mu na utimi ye bold hwe na nim ka kire se me di wo ho ye ya wo na obenye jojontie bia be ka kire se na se ka wo ka se fi se penifo se akukọ ntu badwam uti so na oto what you say akukọ ntu badwam ye wonuma bi ho ye pamuka akukọ ntu badwam ye nya branch bi te say good man say reverend ze ko usu bempa eni kwan say ko be gina bonten e kasa fa sam penifo no ba wo good man unya daje e be kasa fa papa no mo hwe nya atwomo ha o obi aye papa na de and what boni di pense why am de ya me ya good man say eni kwan say ko bo bi din e ka chen say odi ne ho yaw ba wo good man so video na wo ye no wo si odi papa no ho yaw say o yes a video no wa bodam ono wo kwa wo mobra no wo na wo mobra no wo na wo mobra no o timi so camera say odi papa no ho yaw say wo ba bontia be kasa ansam no na mom ono de eni kwan say ono so kasa odi obi ho yaw nya dam na yaw mu pay master straight am kwase sika na mu bon kwase keys ena papa na kasa me no ba be ko papa no nsem ne yetie mu yie me no be ko papa no nsem no mu ne atu ebu ase tie ne am say treatment e de ma papa no na ye na ene kwan so a eye pobo na enye pobo she tundra yede kwakọ fa papa no free hospital akọ back to cells she pick up the coin she the bridge number no the number plate never compare papers e waka no never say e die na nkofo pese e papa we what you say e poben e na nkofo boy fa papa no ho nkofo e kofa papa na she max na the reverend ko na wadi ewu ana mi bisa mo Sunday, more cost Sunday, as Sunday, so for penalty, reverend as the Kosu Bempa, aqua chinko for more cockran, want me and even more ID, no more uniform, uncle, must say civilian and Tardin a coho. Because more person, because some man can you must say, more person, papa committee, BB, said you move to Menyano, a rieno, a pobo, a plantain. Planting. Eti me obi to me can't have idea course no enya me oh esono wo and esono me because me my ben one omo bopo no amanka do yi nneoma pii so chair me and said your can no sa na happen sa pepe na happen after ye chair reverend as a ko usu bempa said ye be Ghana for me se papa no kwa na treat ni sati and ye said that cheat figures be public figures be efra said ye be ya e be say please no na ye na dwuma ye now they na koso Ghana what you say e dey na koso too bad what you say now they and I chapi no ma menya quick na me drop video no na yen hwa ade wo ha say ono kromfutetu amoa agrada kromfutetu amoa say ono di ni birthday please abaho ema man crowd say please for na ba ho no e ki sake won ki yi wo mu nyina di say ma me ne party na please akọ ki sake wo mu nyina iti please for no nyina patu be ye na damfo by force be ye na damfo by force na osofo penny to say reverend as ko usu bempa a certain president abowura na sondem akotu nanum tu ache Ghana fo nyina say asofo pia boa me but sofo we wa ye more than obia ntino yisu sa wose no anya bibia ma wase a utwa ho san bo no kro no na bone ben ko na papa na ye anti nkrofo bi popo si ade ne be fa sa kwan no so po ben ko a bone ben ko na wa ye na motumi akwakote wi mo hwade o na hwe ayese Christ ni baraba What you say? O within no a wakunkum krofo wo kro no adi pone akese wo man no mu asia ye kum no no na asofo mpanimfo bi ne aman mpanimfo bi ne aman mfo bi aka bom aya no kro se momfa de oje nkwa no enkom nkokunu na munyi okromfutetu amono maye nya bi na si ogana no nya bi na si yan. What you say? I saw from pennyfo, ne ministers and pennyfo be and a campo according to a man crowd or so one mukasa empuna epunu and a campo mu. Samunya gradamayen, Munfa gradamayen. Tio, Munfa gradamayen, Namunfa, or Suban Panko Munkokunu, Tinaki Kukum Papano. Etinya grow na papano dieno. And ya grow and a papano dieno. What your man crowd was say, Papa no tree and hunto crowing and see train or be ampen from top to down. Do you want to eat one free money? Why they saw innocent, some see and will be a rabonting. It is people from penny focus of a bonnet chair, or moon deserve some cana. By a benya, I didn't have fun and quasiaphobia and ring. I can't do a more peck canoma from Weddy. Quack, cause Ghana near one. What you say? Sure. Abraham. Yache Jesus Christ. Kojina Herod enim. Obiantio. Emra yache Jesus Christ. Kojina Herod enim. Ene Pilato. Ediana Israel penning for no ye. Muntio. Omo nkasa na call man ho. A try say for mum manipulate. Ama o man ba ni nyina atiase. Say Jesus abrapa na opu o man no mo no. E say o man e de ntokwa kompa e de basabasa ye ba. Ho ye try ye painting no black ama wona na o ye Jesus Oziana Ozi o mo nyina ye convinced say Jesus Christ e bodamfo. Oye wudini oye di bonyani. Meanwhile the onam krom kunkum krofo no yetumi painting white or sabre no ama ono be fit system no mo ntie yi no be wura mu se onkoso na onya ne bone na yemfam break Christ ase because Christ ko ka semo ni obeka na bam asofo panifo no kan mam eti afa o ma say Christ ani onyam no eya pagya wo man no mododo obi ya wusa Christ to me no ono kwode to me Nyankopon de ama no e buru nipa nyina de so why say jai no masa oberema wetenase ti asem ni pa ba won say Bible no ya na Bible no kasa edru ba bia oso hwehye say ko bekum no ba sabra no na ne breso ye say reverend ko so be pa breso ya e pobia bobobia be ba fa ho ba ne breso a Onyankopon de ne be samusa na ne amopese se mo twetwa na gu place na mo twetwa na gu so na mo awe na mo ho otom ba se bre no so ya nobody o de kwa fa so chi papa no hwe video hwe pictures of papa no show ne what you say nanka na agrada comfortatu amoa we na mo chi no ama ne dam papa mu da na ne krotini nche bone komo nene krutini nche bone komo what ya maka do si sha samo ma menu nyaaye a o mu jai no nti the whole Ghana obi a ma menu be ka che wo se obema movement du bia obetumi ama movement du wo ye hwan ejo se empanifo no ma menu akoye bad deals bebre akwam bone na empanifo no ma menu nam so panifo bebre ama ma menu do omu nsa ahyabichi ase nti agrada wo power wo Ghana ikatro agrada tumi kura no Ghana no enya nkwala tumi company for no bia person be lusu na djuma kwa man crowd so no mo na ye deals ben and agrada yo bia so nim say wo position na obenwa obetry so be so mu said the otena obetumi control why any ope na kai is about the same e kon the same e dey nkwan dey see o dey ma menya quick na yen drop videos no na ehwade Nyankopon sira obibia wabaso Nyankopon tinenim ema obibia na oni edi dwuma nyame sira obibia
sing about it now but in the appropriate time I will tell my side of the story.
Afei order from above see am from go to.
So now back to order from above. there was an order from above that I should be held behind cells.
In fact, Osofo Charles Owusu obone homoden pa.
Now, Reverend Charles also did everything in his might.
Afei na kodru point bi say ene esa de mfamenko cantonment cells.
So then it got to a point that instead of taking the man of God to the police striking force cells, they should rather take him to the cantonment police station. What was his offense?
Almost a mema or that meme church members, some more process for my baha. And a meme church members say, Yamono, my poor process for a prepare.
Now his offense
police was or the police attire and a police about.
Now his offense was that he had instructed the members of his church to beat up policemen that came to the premises of the church to cause an arrest. But on that day, there was no policeman that came to the premises of the church, and there was no person dressed in police attire that entered the compound of the church.
Even me call baby crana de didn't cost to no cost. Man, who police need be our.
Now, when I even went to the place where the scene occurred, there was no person, no policeman at the scene.
And your police form are no more.
So which policemen were they talking about? I did not really understand. And so I was taken to the cantonment police station. I called everyone I knew. Nobody answered the call. Now, as I was trying, I got someone.
And I'm saying, and I said to the person, Ose Ebra ye che no no ofrem panimfo onim omu nyina obia mfa we are say cool what you say mum ye nya ni say e cool munti adne pa sam panimfo no a edu ni birthday a omahu kwan efre papa no ye che no no ofre omumu bia obia mfa nti wan e na innocent wa na okoka yes no be IGP a yenka na asema bonten obi e president a abi before mamu enyini na wiase no obi e kono ente se tete abreso no biem krom ha MP prime minister obi etumi ka na adwen kire no oya ade na nya so okoto se de prime minister gina ho ne address na wo yembeso ti asem ne pa ti France kwade obi yi ne sa ehye president na sum pow but ye krumo no because of bonny I am penning for no pe so obedient they try to use power e de anuonyam hunu e kata wo mo ye company asem why bonny en kan wo ye hwan unya nipa enye una na no na unsa da unsa yem e pachaw e petumi no unya tumi na na mo cham so Mrs. Yansai Suban a brepi ba Yabasia Conquasumu. Yana Nade, I've been bonenia dream finty, Moko Suku about degree, but still mine to manage it. And then I said to IMF, and then you call IMF. What you say? And penning for noa, na or no mutin como, a dear Timusam. They're there, most of them. Sakwaya ya faso, a cochino no. Na of friend penny phone mubia, or munina obia phone off. Tidia sana money making. Yankos ni entiano, entiano revenas causumempa.
That I was having a church service, and some unknown people had kidnapped one of my pastors, and they had chased another to a place where he took cover. Media called me and told me to come so that they settle any scores which that Reverend Kobia was asked to write a statement. I also mentioned that I was so much offended in the matter was going to turn.
In fact, me too, baby, a bath for no one.
Now, when I got to and I was asking the security man what was happening outside,
ɛna ɔmo ka kyerɛ me sɛ nkurɔfoɔ bi ɛtututuo ɛɛba.
And some people mentioned that the gunshots were coming toward this direction.
ɛde asɛm.
Why?
ɛna ɔmo ka kyerɛ me sɛ nkurɔfoɔ no akye sɔfo Nana Korobea.
So those people that came in mentioned to me that that there are some people with guns that had seized Reverend Nana Korobea. They had whisked him away.
nansa na ɔmo bɛkye sɔfo Nana Korobea no ɔmo de car abɔ sɔfo Nana Korobea mu car mu ama na bɔ electric pole ama na bu anyame nko anka electric ni gu ɔmo so a anka yɛnte asɛm.
Now they also said that the people who caught Reverend Nana Korobea and ran away with him.
I'm saying my jump video.
My heart.
Because adeɛ ɛfrɛ no yawdie sɛ ma ne tena wo mu.
So
yɛni ha.
Momfa kyerɛ sɛ mama
hwie makoma mu nsɛm gu hɔ.
And it has become, it should be done properly.
Sɛ ɛboro mmara no so a na kyerɛ sɛ obi hyehyɛ aseɛ.
Now, if it goes beyond what is expected within the law, then it means that there is somebody behind it, perhaps doing something about that matter.
Asɛm ne fiti aseɛ no memfa nto dwa seesei.
I am not going to make any comment about how this whole thing came about.
And I'm caught in nsɛnsɛm bi nti.
Because of certain matters pending in court.
But nsɛm bi wɔ nom a ɛwɔ sɛ mema mo te na wiase nyinaa te.
But I deem it necessary for you to know certain things and also for the whole world to know certain things.
Nti wotie me on social media ne so.
So if you are streaming live on any social media platform,
na sɛ wotie ne yie a ma ɔmɔden ne tie mu yie.
I would ask you to listen and listen clearly.
Mo so a mowɔ dɛm ha.
Those of you seated in this auditorium as well,
montie nsɛm no mu yie.
I would want you to pay attention and listen very
I'm
clearly.
saying last week me gyina hanom ka sɛ me di yaw.
Now last week I mentioned during my preaching that I was really offended.
Na me kan pefe sɛ Ghana man pani onimanyamfo Nana Addo Akufo Addo me di ne ho yaw.
And I said it without mincing words that I was so much offended in the President of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Addo Akufo Addo.
Me kan biem sɛ your vice nso so vice president Baumia ɔno nso me di ne ho yaw.
I also mentioned that I was so much offended in the Vice President of Ghana.
Me kan biem sɛ IGP Owura Dampare ɔno nso me di ne ho yaw
In
paa.
addition to that, I mentioned that I was so much offended in the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Akufo Dampare.
Ɛdi nti na ma me ka saa nsɛm yi.
Now, why did I make mention of all these?
Adɛn
Why?
ɛno ɛna mebɛka ho asɛm.
Now, it is the why I am going to answer this afternoon.
Megye tum sɛ yɛn nyinaa nim sɛ na yɛyɛ asɔre
If you recall, we were having church service,
ɛne ɛte sɛ tuo toto.
and during the church service, we heard gunshots around the premises of the church.
Na ehu sɛ nkurɔfoɔ bi adi mmirika ɛba.
And you all recall that there were some people running from the streets into the premises of the church.
Enti etuo no tutuo ne nti no na sɛ yɛn wɔ asɔre dɛm ase obi apɛ sɛ ohun deɛ ɛkɔ so.
And because of the gunshots and what was happening, we were all concerned. We wanted to know what was happening outside the walls of the church.
Megu so a na meyɛ asɔre na me mpɔn.
So it was during church service. I had not closed.
Etuo tutuo no mu no ɛmaa me pie.
So because of the gunshots, I walked out of the door of the church.
Na mebusa security foɔ na wɔ hanom no sɛ ɛyɛ asɛm.
And I was asking the security man what was happening outside.
Ɛna ɔmo ka kyerɛ me sɛ nkurɔfoɔ bi ɛtututuo ɛba.
And some people mentioned that the gunshots were coming toward this direction.
Ɛyɛ asɛm.
Why?
Ɛna ɔmo ka kyerɛ me sɛ nkurɔfoɔ no akye sɔfo Nana Korobea.
So those people that came in mentioned to me that that there are some people with guns that had seized Reverend Nana Korobea. They had whisked him away.
Nansa no mo beche sofo na nakrobia no. Omu de car abbo sofo na nakrobia mu ka mu. Ama na electric pole, ama na bu. Anya menko anka electric ni gu omu so a anka entiase.
Now they also said that the people who caught Reverend Nana Krobia and ran away with him, they first of all hit his car, and his car hit a pole, and the pole fell. And they are not very sure what had happened.
Na omo bono edi tuo pimpim no ade na sheka mu de ne ko.
And they were beating him and hitting him with the guns they had, and they put him into the car and they drove off.
Na sofo ba akonso so fe ne sofo ba echi ono so mu dimirika emu bi dimirika dinachi ama odwane.
Now another man of God called Reverend Bechi, some of the guys had chased him away, and he was running another direction, and the guys were following him.
Sabio me sofo pani wa ha.
Now I am the general overseer in this church.
Na me ya sorry. Na nkrofo di tuo aba abeche me sofo e de na sheka mu ko.
So you can imagine that I heard a news that some unknown people have come to whisk away one of my pastors, and they've gone to an unknown place. I couldn't continue with service.
Na me catch asofo ne say omo de omo nto asoro.
So I handed over to some the pastors, and I told them to continue with service.
Because
I wanted to follow up to see how the matter was going to turn.
In fact, me drew baby a bar for no.
Now when I got to the place where the bar, the pub is,
street kitwe bi da ho. And I'm who said je.
Now I noticed that there were a lot of people on the streets, and it was like a pandemonium had occurred.
Eti mi busa say dey asem.
And so I inquired what happened.
Na sofo na krobia and na sofo ba echi omo wey.
And I also asked the people gathered there, where is Pastor Krobia and Pastor Bechi?
Omo say papa enkrofo bi tuo abeti tutuo aso sofo krobia mu de na sheka mu e de ne ko.
Now the response they gave me was that there were some unidentified people who had caught Reverend Krobia, put him in a car, and they were the ones who were shooting the guns, and they took him away somewhere they don't know.
In fact,
I was really frightened because I didn't know what was happening.
You see, police car bi, and our police patrol team car. Ababe Jisofo Nana Krobia.
Now later on, they told me that there was another patrol car of the police that came to rescue Reverend Krobia and took him away. Now that made me a bit comfortable. So I asked, where is Reverend Bechi? They told me he managed to run and seek refuge in somebody else's house.
And
they told me that some of the people in the group that attacked Reverend Krobia, we managed to catch some of them, and these are the ones we have caught.
Not just say Beche soften and Krobia, our pam sofo beche no a binom eni.
So they said that some of the people that were chasing Reverend Krobia and Reverend Bechi, these people were one or are part of the group. So it was like there was serious exchange of words.
And I may catch that microphone say, young foam and Tanakamu, young foam concord report to Moma police.
So I said to the people on the streets that, you know what, let's put them in the vehicle and let's take them to the police station to make a report. There were about 4 people, if I can remember. So we made them to sit in some of the cars of the pastors, and we drove straight to the police station. Now on our way to the police station, Reverend Krobia called me and said to me, Papa, if you don't come now, I will die. And because the people are killing me.
And I'm saying, now wait.
And I asked him, where are you?
ɔsɛ papa ɔma bo me ɛde to abɔbɔ me mfe sɛ ma mogya etu me ama sese ɔmo de ma ba Dansuma police station.
So he said to me that the people beat me up and they hit my ribs with their guns and I am bleeding. And so I am currently at the Dansuma police station.
ɛna me so me ka kyerɛ sɔfo Krɔbea sɛ wode anya abotrɛ na nkurɔfoɔ no koraa yɛ so yɛakye binom tie de ɔmo ba Dansuma police
I
station
said to
abɛyɛ case.
I said to Reverend Krobia, exercise patience. We managed, or the people managed to catch some of the group that attacked you, and we are bringing them to the police station to make a case against them.
In fact, yɛduru police station hɔnom mehu sɔfo Krɔbea na menhu no yie.
Now, when we arrived at the police station, the Pastor Krobia I knew was not the same person standing at the police station. Now, by the grace of God, we were able to uncover where Reverend Berchi was hiding. So I began to ask the policemen, who are those that brought my pastor to the station?
Now they told me handcuff. A good nipa, Crawford kidnap no, a bono, Masade handcuff a gunisa, and it's a gunachia oblidi.
And I asked them that why have you handcuffed someone that had been kidnapped and had been beaten by unknown people, and he is bleeding and he's still in handcuffs?
And I'm saying, Commander no way.
So I inquired, where is the commander of the station?
And almost a peer kakra.
And they told me he had stepped out.
And I'm saying, now one pan a day, so
I further inquired, who were those that brought this pastor to the station?
Almost oh, Naminipa.
They said, man of God.
Yawahana petrol team phobi. And naba, no in the banner handcuff gunisa, a patrol team.
Now they said to me, that man of God, he was brought here by a police patrol team, and he came here in handcuffs.
And I'm saying, police for and baha.
So I wondered, those that brought him here, were they police people?
And I'm saying, Papa,
so they also said to me that we were here when the police patrol team brought him here.
And I'm saying, young Crawford, yes, I did.
So I said to them that then the group that attacked him and kidnapped him, the people managed to catch a few of them, and so we have brought them here to the police station. And so the policemen received the people that we had taken to the police station and put them behind the counter.
And a patrol team for nearby.
Now later on, the patrol team returned to the station.
Maybe some say they are
and I asked them, what's the matter?
Almost my boss and the small.
And they said their boss sent them.
And China boss in the buy.
Now later on, the boss himself came.
And I'm saying, Papa Police,
and I asked him, Mr. Police, what's the matter?
And
he told me, man of God, just relax.
Nah, young call regional.
Let's go to the regional police headquarters. And when we go there, we are going to settle everything there.
And I'm saying, Mr. Handcuff or bread or bleed your piano.
And I told him that then please uncuff him, remove the handcuffs, because the young man is bleeding. When he speaks, there is blood in his mouth, and there are cuffs on him, and his hands were behind him.
And I'm saying, nah, a handful. And Omobeche, me software, Oma Bruno, I any say, the DNT, and I'm software be dim hank of goodness. I then crofona, Omo Bayano, and of the hank of goodness, and I say, one.
So I further asked that who were those that attacked the man of God, and how did the man of God come to the custody of the police patrol team, and how did all this happen? I wanted to find out and ascertain what really transpired within the period.
As some police know, the catch me and say, Naminipa, or the young courageous, they drew on my bemu BBR.
Now, repeatedly, what the policeman said to me was that, man of God, let's go to the regional police headquarters. When we get there, we are going to settle everything and we'll let you know everything.
Yamiadom, my friend, Mr. Charles Usu,
Now,
Reverend Charles
I called Reverend Charles Owusu.
Uncle Fee Munina Bahobi.
And I called Uncle Fee. So they all came to the police station. And so we all drove to the regional police headquarters.
Nafe adekodientia ye betu tutuo wa ha bra me ya asore eni dientia ya beche me sofo a ya bone de hankofa gulu sa me be se mete na me hunu krofokro mbedi sa adwuma no.
Because I really wanted to know why some people came to the neighborhood of the church to shoot guns, and why they had arrested my pastor and beaten him up and they had handcuffed him. I really wanted to know why that happened.
I feel almost say me sofo no Krobia no on show the statement.
So when we got there, they told Reverend Krobia to write his statement.
Na kasa ni nya mu no kwasiada anopa ye ba sorry ana sofo Krobia ene sofo bechi e ka kire me sa papa ya na man nkrofo di moto ni cars di achi
now
yesuro.
Now on that Sunday in the morning, Reverend Krobia and Reverend Bechi informed me that they had noticed some people tracking them with motors and vehicles, and
Muntio Sabre na aman krado aka chem se mensha ade ebesi Sunday enti anya me ngongo se asofo no enam Sunday na motors di omachi because no ma plan sa Sunday no se ombe take papa no surprise tio enti anopa no na operation sha ase ti asam ne pa according to aman krado se agrada ne panimfo kukudam ena gina fon so boss apon Muntio enti now Ghana mpanimfo no atema na agrada edi papa no eno ha omo na mo papa no sofo e respond to agrada no eno na be ye mpanimfo no problem so mbeche papa na punish no anasa ya problem bia na e wo ho enye sa case bi be say meti ase obi anti o anasa papa ma me no gina ni Facebook edi papa na tem sase wa manifia kama na ne dai no empanifo no e ho chese bibia fa o maso achi o manti nemom kona papa no ko ma me no fie ono e ho punishment no no now why say how me pesa meti ase no why say please decide say Sunday no kwa na eso mo kwache o oka e be ka cho say omunim say asoro no mo kwa ombenya o mo cause omunim say Sunday de kwa bia so mbeba sorry na me bisa this question say Ghana omo mo kwa asoro no omo ye bone a omo so please ye de na chi omo enti so obi ye bone na okwa asoro na nya na asonda na obenya na chi na ba bia enu a obenya na chi ne biem nti Sunday no mo plan so mbesa operation what you say mom yan koso ne enti
he had become a bit uncomfortable about what had been happening.
Ne bi okra omu pie no mu kofi aka bit mi di o machi sa e koduru omu fie.
And there were times that a vehicle could track them from town till the time they arrived at their doorstep at home.
E hona me ka kire sofo Krobia ne sofo be che se ene monko police station I ben ha either Dansuman police station and now say Odoko police station na monko ye case say samonamwa say na enkrophobia.
So immediately they informed me that morning. I said to them that it is wise and necessary to report what you have noticed at the nearest police station. So I told them to either go to the Odoko police station or go to the Dansuman police station and report to the police what they had noticed.
Osofo beche koro ena car e pam wo mo a wo ni ba bia car ne free a wo di ayam hyehyia e di wo car kopim electric pole e ma ne bu ye.
Now so it was when they were going to the police station to make a report that a vehicle unknown to them started chasing them hotly, and so he lost control and he hit the vehicle against a pole and the pole broke down. So so out of fear, they opened the doors of the vehicle to run away and escape, and they had people shooting guns. The people shooting, making gunshots. So as for Reverend Krobia, he fell down and fell into a gutter.
And in fact,
and that was how he managed. That was how they managed to catch him, and they really beat him up. And Reverend Krobia didn't know the people that had caught him, and Reverend Bechi also didn't know them. Whether they were armed robbers, whether they were assailants, they were people that had been contract killers. Nobody knew who they were. So it was at the regional police station that Reverend Krobia was asked to write a statement. So I was thinking that after he had written a statement, or after writing a statement, they would grant him some police inquiry bail, so that he will go home, even if he has committed an offense, he will go home to treat himself, or he will go home and report at the police station at another time. Because I was in haste. I wanted to take him to the hospital because he was really injured.
Now a police order from above statement.
Now whilst I was waiting, there were some policemen that came to me and they told me that by an order from above, I am supposed to also write a statement.
Statement then I'm in trouble.
And I asked them, what statement should I write?
Yeah, a course in
Is it what happened and what I witnessed with my eyes?
In fact, now lawyer I suffered Daniel.
At that time, I was personally present. I was personally present at the police station.
A true statement.
And so together we wrote the statement of what they required us to write.
Now, in fact, because now
I was surprised because I didn't really understand what was happening.
Yes, order from above say cells.
Now again, some policemen came to the place the man of God was writing the statement and said that by an order from above, the prophet of God should be held in police custody.
Striking force.
And that he must be taken to the police striking force unit. The cells. So Reverend Charles Owusu then intervened.
And
he started making certain calls.
Chief of staff.
So I also called the chief of staff. And I told her everything that had happened.
And also, Jubilee House.
And she told me to relax because she has sent a military personnel at the Jubilee House to come over where we were and to listen to whatever has happened, to inform her of what had happened.
Chief of staff said,
now that military personnel also called me and told me that he had been sent by the chief of staff and he was on his way to the police station. We waited for a long time and nobody came. Now I called everyone I knew and I could call. Nobody answered the call. So Reverend Charles called another big man.
Charles, now
what the man said to him is that, Reverend Charles, just relax. I am going to use my influence to settle this matter. Now from time to time the man kept calling. The man called and he said, this matter that is happening is above me. Now where the order or the orders came from, he cannot do anything about it.
So maybe some.
Now what did I do?
So maybe so be say if some man crowd catch me say and penny for kase empuna epunu e wo Ghana and ani agrad the boss apo we ya opani ben e di say onya nkrofo bi betnasi say reverend ze ko su ben pakasa omontiase kasa anyhow hunso omadwene se da nya papa sa what you say and omo ye nyatwemfo omo ye hypocrite nyatwemfo nko a tie nsema papa no kan and some papa yi Kenya confirm me side ama me because sanyo man na be koso nyina na man crowd update me medu adwam no afrɛ me akra what you say eti ya che papa no wie bibia wie ya papa no wokɔ no bɛka kyem sɛ adwuma di papa no ama papa no kaya na ɛso mfa ne ti modem na mpai moja mra no ntafre ti asɛm ne pa enti me nobody can convince me say papa no boni a wo ye no ɛho asotwe no nyaa ye no obi o kasa bi ate sɛ ne good man mo keka no ɛyɛ nsɛm hunu ma obi antie omo nim ne omo ka omo de otan ɛna ɛkasa keke. What you say? On pay masters na asoma omo and omo kasa. Cause omo to turn omo conscience. E wo media no so. Omo to turn omo conscience. Omo kan no kre. Ba me ametie me nim say ensama papa yi ken sa pepepe na sie. E mpanimfo bi na ye according to aman crowd some about audio so no. E na me to me bo asem bo audios bi awa. E ho hia biem ya bo audios na che. Se me bo audio ara me be bo new ones. She said, Mashasi, she said, me ofie, to be better, me was yak audio soon, Namadi more audio saba. Mutia Samnipa, Ejo, when Nana man can't ya wear, sabe happen. Me be some simple question, says a nyapo boa, why some penny phone in our phone, call off. Tia your kind or say, penina on any casano, or penina say, wait dear a promise. Wait dear a promise. No penny bang, and an upper pana and a bonnet. I will guarantee no person partnership papa penny bang. Now your mamu to me, I will my musamu fat to me in your juma. Na emrakre di papa no bonia. Why some no ma emranini no. Namu yusu to me at their punishment. Mo ye and your fe. You can't tell me. Mon shall mo ye and in Guasia, I would be free politics mono. I'm sure I'm conquer no politics beam. Sana de one you be udu to me sister Rameboa. When you be a net, udu to me susino. Or you never kiss it to Jumbi, Messia Kaimone. Was what she me a son saying, Messun Sue, Sabinum, no, we are saying Dimatem. Nekos wanum co. Now, Kwakoi, Ubequaco see of your swap you, Ube channel chat, Namunamu Bruvia, and when you be Wamaga, and Yamaga ho. What you say? Wait, and your friend say, ye boo, a brow soon, ye boo, ye sure ye, near see a brow is soon. What you say, dear Papano, a ya brown cassa, and a dear one, a bro quine swan cassa, and a nipper be transit, a camucafo would phobi, I do a more fra politics, I drink bonnet for, Omanamagana, son, her economy all. O may 2 petrol, you may walk, your 2 petrol will go, will be beer. I drink bonnet, near come a bonnet, ye pay one, ye won't snake, and no man qua, and no man qua, or my no man, be beer, no man. Go so be a person of a fuck on papa so I dear. Money, Sir Papa, no, Tom, fine, Mumma, Radino. When you're not free. Now, no, Cronfour. What bunker for Cronon, Abu bunker for, according to MP Ankasa no some mamina kunkum nipa, Abu bon coffee. Mammy, what this up bonny way or mine no more? Ye jumping in former Samami way chi, as son so, Yankupon home mobo. Yahweh, your boss robust, I see, oh home mobo. The other Ghana found that she kicked him off. I'm with your man, Moody Musradiano, oh home mobo, Monoma Sefo.
Charge bear pioneer they bomb me.
What charge was preferred against me?
Now send you ho. Now seminal one day them.
Now there is something which I would talk about one day.
I believe some for Peter say you call mommy be.
Now there are some people that heard that we went to a certain woman's house.
I said no court team in person.
Now because the matter is in court, I don't want to talk about it. Why did we go to the woman's house? So, which chiefs visited me in my house? And what did they say to me when they came? So, which chief called me and told me to come so that they settle any scores which may be? Now, anybody who will say that Prophet Usman took guns with him to go to a certain woman's house to go and shoot her.
80 now. Wo me. yɛnhwɛ ensama papa yi kan ne yɛnhwɛ dia bloggers bi ekeka wa bonten ho ena wakɔ ba besia fie with etuo ne sekan eti na mredi wo ena muntio na afa ne papa yi kan momfa nkɔkɔmpa video na yehu ye no na monhwɛ sɛ ɛyɛ bloggers ne na ɛka nokre sɛ papa no de etuo ne sekan ne kɔ ana papa yi na ɛka nokre sɛ ɔkɔ ho no na etuo ne sekan kura no common sense yusu adwen ne fa jeje ewa ne hu ba bia nokre no ne fa wakoma ti nokre se atoro ti asɛm ne pa what you say na munti aye pa amanka do di kan aka wo se adwuma no akura reverence ko so bempa adwuma no me na me hyehyɛ se adwuma no na me hyehyɛ ni neat nti wo hene ben ene ba mu because na sabre na ntokwa no mu ayehye what you say sabre sofo ba chi no hu so o mabrabo e da danger nti obi an so pese ode ani eden e bo no ho ban what you say eno emo na pressure asofo ba chi ba out and sabre ne nya nim se ma me no threaten sabre ne nya ka ho bi ne ye fire hwe fire na sabre ne ya so ano sabre no cause ne nim se reverence ko usu bempa ye ni papone si obi a obi ase sa na me de na me hu no e kan kracho sa na me hu no ti o sa fe me sha se hu adwuma hyehyɛ ne nsama hodo bi a ekoso ne no kra bi a me sha se hu ye e na fe me se sha se efem woni ameye no ti asɛm ne pa what you say enti me bawo hinanum empanifo pen e na kɔfrɛ papa no se papa no mra papa no kɔye munti asɛm ne pa papa no kɔye sa ne o ma nyina kɔsisie sa empanifo no nya no mo wɔ hen
emu baako ene frɛ me na sɔfo amokra ate me nkyɛn sɛ omuni maame na kasa maame na gye atom sɛ obegya de ɔyɛ no tie nyina yɛ nhyia na somdwe mra ɔma yɛ no ɔmokɔ hɔ mpo no ɛyɛ ahemfo no nkrɔfoɔ.
Now, so one of the chiefs that visited my house called me and said that they have spoken with the woman, and the woman had agreed to let sleeping dogs lie, and so they pleaded with me, they begged me to come over. So they settled the matter. Now, the people who were around, I do not know them. They were people that the chiefs had sent to come. Now, because the matter is pending before a court, I will not delve into the details.
Na bibi atun20 e ko ho ayan kwose e kokontokwa ebresem mechiremu amobia
na in that proper
obi a wakasa atia me edi matem se di enti no ko ma me ne fie adenti no di tuo ne ma ko ma me ne fie memo obi a ho sanya no kura da se e ko ma me bi fie se e koku no ane ene ne kokontokwa never.
Now in the appropriate time when I explain why I moved over to the neighborhood of a certain woman, I'm sure anybody after I've explained, anyone who ever insulted me, after I've explained would have clarity in his mind that I never intended to go anywhere to cause mayhem or distraction or to do something unlawful.
Now,
because that matter is still in court, I'm not going to say anything about it now, but in the appropriate time, I will tell my side of the story.
Order from above.
So now, back to order from above. There was an order from above that I should be.
Ahano and a papa no bensin.
In fact,
Muntio, Ahano and a reverend as a cosu bempa mensina, na a chima biako back. Na a fay, Masha see kai, a brana man crado, as Simi say, my meaning penny was say, Accra, Ghana, yan uncle from where Messere. Eno yusu mami ngegedi se mami ngegedi ana no hoya mesre na gragra kasa wo be mafia wo ye hwan na kura mami ne gulus egia fonso din komo a empanimfu kasa empuna epunu akra wo be ko wachi na wo de hwe de betu owusu bempa hwe de a ebetu owusu bempa etinya grada na e mami ne sawo obi obeka se kona papa no ko fie on tre ene e chi no no oboa because ye nyina ye te Ghana minim krofo bebre konkrofo fie no omukoko oba besia ono ye sasebe ko parliament crime check for the Korea case no oba besi on ne kunu tifie onyem obewu abosomen so so okwana ma me ho abosaden o oba no oba fofra banifie ne kunu tidem wa fa no ne 90 hye no eno no oba no koye eno pemfo no ka no ye de ne koto jail ema speaker of parliament then former speaker of parliament ena ye ne ka disi kaka ho se enkoyi oba no free prison etisi ategana na ena na mo kama matise the first time I obi akọ obi fie ene ne kokko ne reverence ko usu bempa nti esa mra no come on na me pesa me bisa se simple question peni kro no a okase mpuna epunu no na ono akasa ni interest ne sese be che papa no na ya motriti papa no said your moye na die kwana na opese onya take so obetim dia no na bre papa na sia na me pesa me hu o mo po a na o mo bo what you say she I'm not Pharisees agese as silence Christ sabre no kwana na o mo bo no increase no what you say because moment e be boppo bi ase enkoche no na yenkunu no ede nyankopon ni onyam sere foforo san ba because emra oni papa ne yedin no na onyankopon samu yedin ebra na pharaoh o increase na panko sotefo no na onyankopon so enso increase the powers e pharaoh so tino mine ye bresa no covid sa ba wiase ba bi tino ye bresa no ye panifo no binum ni atwen papa and o ma dwen susa me kan pain because ebre asem asia ye mpanifo no bi enhumu ne nimde ayeso mo to on bo ase pe enhumu the answer many questions so won to me e pani mo abi otumi na me yusu bitumi aye de amepe enti no man na esa no nanka esisen nyatete Israel de no bi na asiem se okromfo ayeso ko jail na machi na jai no amanka do sa akra hwe agrada case onyaye no hwe ye de ko central police station ye man dan kama air condition bom eno team ni kru ko tran nchen de open odie me hwe so o majai no what you say nadia oti oman mu a okyekye otufo opuo nipa oye nuoma bebre no ono no ye chi na kwa kokuna to atwen ne ekipo okromfo na oman no nyenti ne nyina da na kromfo no abone fo nkwa na egu oman no mu yankoso
osofu chance usu obone homoden pa.
Now Reverend Charles also did everything in his might.
Afena kodru point bi say ene asade mfamenko cantonment cells.
So then it got to a point that instead of taking the man of God to the police striking force cells, they should rather take him to the cantonment police station. What was his offense?
Juliana Strickland Nyakopon Shabebre watcha 200 star amai obi a watcha star maya me hu bia no me so ya na yana odi ache eja no there is ayana yeni entumi ko comment no so bebre ti ana modi ache
oda me church members some mo aprosifo ma baha and me church members say yamo no ma bu aprosifo aprepra o.
Now his offense
police
was
ni be no the police atade and na police ni be na ba.
Now his offense was that he had instructed the members of his church to beat up policemen that came to the premises of the church to cause an arrest. But on that day, there was no policeman that came to the premises of the church, and there was no person dressed in police attire that entered the compound of the church.
Even me call baby na de ne koso tututu no koso no. Man who police ni bia ho.
Now, when I even went to the place where the scene occurred, there was no person, no policeman at the scene.
And your police form
so which policemen were they talking about? I did not really understand.
Cells.
And so I was taken to the cantonment police station. I called everyone I knew. Nobody answered the call. Now, as I was trying, I got someone.
And I'm saying, sorry.
And I said to the person that I was I was having a church service.
And some
unknown people had kidnapped one of my pastors, and they had chased another to a place where he took cover. Now I followed the matter without knowing what had happened, but it had been ordered that I should be put into cells. So that man said to me,
Police Penny Dampare,
that the Inspector General of Police
and the Vice President
and the Vice President
I was off a friend Victor Kusibuati in
or were in the house of another man of God called Victor Kusibuati.
Yeah, Tulip, Kakrabia, Mema Wafre Abam, Mema Wafre Abam, Enchakra.
Yes, of Victor Kusibuati on the birthday,
and it was the birthday party of Reverend Victor Kusibuati, so they were all there.
Nenipo betimi ama Dampare jame. Aye Victor Kusibuati nepe.
Now, the person said to me that the only person that could make an intervention and could speak with the Inspector General of Police to release me to go home was that man of God alone.
Now, no person will bet me Vice President Takasa. I'm on also Dampare Akasa Mumaja.
And again, that man of God alone is the only person who could speak with the.
Ahaka krei, what you say? Ahaka krei to chim margin. Ahaka krei meet papa no, and then ahaka krei to chim margin. Osofono, and a vice, and a IGP. Say IGP, bet to me a jai war. I just a vice never casa. Na se vice and super casa. Because I'm not Reverend as the Kosuben Patrice or Fred Vice, Vice and funny call. Ubi and Tio how Muntia Samwa, Vice and funny call. But, sir, obey to me, I convince a Vice. I'm a Vice, I'm a command, I'm a IGP, I'm a command, I'm your Janoa. I just a sa or soft one. Reverend Kusibuatin, sa or soft we oi, Maminfa picture wintoso. Na yenhwade ya onwade ya sa osofo ya owo Reverend Azikosu Bempa ene Vice President Mahmoud Baumia medal monhwe sofo na owo ho no monhwe sa osofo no montio me hwe sa keso na me ne sofo pani bi kra din komo anwunre yehowa ya doma na me frɛ no aba program yi so minim sɛ wo hwɛ me what you say monsa dio enti now eya koye me se pepepe se Christ abreso asofo mpanimfo ene aman mpanimfo ene kampo mu se momien kokum Christ na yenjai owudini no yen protect owudini no yen protect okromfo no na yen kokum osofo no adentra fi se osofo no nsam ema asofo binum ye little e wo man no mu and no more doing some na mighty. Omo na ko school sakase. Omo na sase bo mu din. Sa na e Pharisees no. Pharisees no hu say yen din na sase bo. Enya wo akwada keto a unko school. Wo free Nazareth. Wo ye hwan. Wo ye hwan. Montio, wo ye hwan. Enti e ma sam panimfo yi ene amam panimfo bi koye ba ko etumi ka bo mu. Eyisu asrafo. They arrested Christ. Nempo sa breno otemufo tedwem hwe case ne di wo se na se nipa odipem onye bone bia na da na moka bo ma bopo bone sa fa no na mo hwehwe ne wuo why nti eduru ba bi no otemufo no se asem no me ni bibia de bua no mayi me nsa afiri mu enti mo nkire mo hene no mo nase prophet no mo nkire one okromfo no why na me nyan no ena mpanimfo no asofo mpanimfo ene amman mpanimfo kampo mu se fa kromfo no mayen na ye pa kromfo no wo man mu sin onyame nipa no nya bi na ekoso Ghana nya bi na ekoso Ghana no nti e ba dan ena man wei ye ni suo ena ne emoja ye suma ye ni suo ena ne moja And I said, Uncle for so far, mine. He will be $1 na dru. He will be £1 na dru. He will be $1 na dru. He will be £1 na dru. Where who yamo? To me, and I am dead. Somebody to me be abusing Crawford, and I am dead. Who are causing a video?
President, for them to release me to go home.
So
the person suggested to me to call Reverend Victor Kusibuating. So it was this man that sent me the contact, the phone number of Reverend Victor Kusibuating.
Reverend Victor Kusibuating more than 10-15 times.
I called Reverend Victor Kusibuating more than 10 to 15 times. He did not answer his call.
I feel pressing by almost a sofa. Tamaso. I was here, you do free cantabac and you do courses until you are tired. And cap or punch.
Now, the men of God, the policeman, while I was sitting behind the counter, came to me and said that, man of God, it is time for you to go into the cells. And so you must remove your dress, be naked, leaving your pants, and walk into the cells.
And I make a chance say, "Me, I sorry, I no pay."
I told them that I had church service today.
Say, me who atadia me dey sorry. Any.
And what I'm wearing are the clothes that I wore for church service. And so I cannot remove my clothing.
Make us say so. Say and then a mass as the opposite, and a man in United on who has supposed to bempa, and a man who go in our social supposed bempa. Almost as a man, Roma Tadana, they will deal with me.
Now, there was a female cell and a male cell, and I was standing very close to where the female cell was. And these policemen told me that if I do not voluntarily remove my clothing, they would force the removal of my clothing. So they said, the man of God, you are delaying. Be fast. So in fact, they held me and they wanted to remove my clothes. So I asked them, what have I done?
Police penny or honor your bar or the catch him say no. Or software in your minipa. Modia, Mamma Fanatadi and Uncle inside.
Now, the police officer in charge said to the policeman that, you know what, you are dealing with a man of God. There was a lady. She said to them, you are dealing with a man of God. Allow him to go to the cell with his dress on.
I want to miss me pusa policeman and say, Mommy, policeman, so
I asked that woman in charge of the station, why are you going to put me into cells? What have I done?
Sana Yadika Fre MPP from Penny for Nobacco, John Buadu, Jehona John Buadu Baho.
So it was at that time we had someone had already called Mr. John Buadu. So it was at that time that Mr. John Buadu came to the police station. When he came, I narrated the whole story to him. He stared intently at my face and said, really? Is that what really happened? So he patted me on the back. He patted me on the back and he said to me, man of God, don't worry. Tomorrow I will come here and we will solve the whole issue. So then they pushed me into the cells. Now I was in utter shock. I was seeking in my mind, searching in my mind to know what I had done wrong, why they were treating me in that manner. So I was confused. So I sat down. At that time I had not eaten. And I didn't know what was happening. I was in shock.
afemi hu sa me homi a nensi so.
Now I noticed that my breath was not normal.
Enti omo edda cells no baako ehu condition no ene sene a ekoso mini paduam ne me ho no to ono mpo ne catch the police for ne say bibi yesofo.
Now one of the cell inmates noticed that I was not okay, so he called the attention of the police officers on duty and said to them that there is something wrong with the man of God.
And I made me call police hospital.
So later on, they came for me and took me to the police hospital. So when I got there, it was necessary that they administered drip on me. So in fact, they administered a drip on me.
I for best 7. Na omo edituo ewura hospital ho baby a me wona drip esimi so.
So while I was still in the hospital at the hospital ward, there were about 7 armed policemen that came to the ward and said that they had been instructed to handcuff me.
Me confused me.
I was shocked. I didn't know what was happening.
Yeah, they drip a so.
So they had administered a drip on me.
Almost say order from above. Say yamfa handcuff a woman.
So they came and they said, order from above. By an order from above, they must handcuff me while I was in the hospital.
Abra drip so.
At that time, they had administered drip on me.
Yeah, the handcuff a bomb inside the ball and pen bed.
So they put the handcuff on my hands and cuffed the hospital bed. So they cuffed my hand against the hospital bed.
Kasani ni nyamu no. Tama ye de me koto ho. Asanya ma we nyina koso amenti ase. Monday and om de me court.
Now,
because you're me Sunday. No?
Now, after the arrest on Monday, I was taken to court.
And almost say, young family got to cells.
Now,
for 1 week. Sorry, 2 weeks. Abraham him dear money.
By an order, when we went to court, the court remanded me at least for about a week.
And unti, me that says so na me ho twetwe me. Me whom ye insist no and am I rush me call hospital
it was after the court had ordered that I should be remanded. That was when I felt I was not feeling well, so they took me to the hospital.
Now drips me so yes I the handcuff as a bomb is a bomb.
So just imagine that I am not in good health, yet my hand had been cuffed against a hospital bed while drip had been administered on me. I don't understand.
Police for never almost order from above. Almost baby two drip no cry free me so no matter how the back of cells.
Now the policemen came and they said to me that by an order from above, they have been instructed to remove the drip and take me back to the cells.
And doctors and nurses no. So many police for the press said there be nipa drips in so yentimi yes police for now the force said nurse na 2 drip no ma be 2.
Now the policemen insisted that if the doctor or the nurses did not remove the drip themselves, then they would remove the drips themselves. I mean, the police said they will remove the drips by themselves, by force. So now they removed the drip. The drip was not, I mean, it didn't get finished. What was in the tube didn't get finished. They put me back into the vehicle and took me back to the cells. Now, Reverend Charles was a witness of what happened. He witnessed everything that happened. Now, while I was at the hospital, Mr. Hobson Adoye and Mr. Ernest Osubempa came there.
And Mr. Hobson Adoye and Mr. Osubempa said, so he asked
He asked the policemen why they were treating the man of God in that manner.
Police ni any opposite phone says send the social men panic hopes at doye and free her own be shoot to
One of the policemen was bold to say to Mr. Hobson Adoye and Mr. Ines Osubempa that if they did not shut up and leave the premises of the hospital,
Enti mu ampanimfo a motenase e boss apon yisu to me yes asabe ma me nyusu sa word no ma no because enkwase adwuma ho a uhu afre no nkwase adwuma enti ampanimfo a mo motenase oman a ye wo kandifo a ye hwese ye mra be ye adwuma ye wo democracy oman no mu na modi to me etwiti obi sa no ene wa wo to fie na wodwen mo ne oman na ye hwe Muntumi fa mutumi emfix wo man no emma ehiafo a esofa wo man no mu nipa ebre a na krofutatu amoi se wata asondan oya asori asase ebebu nkrofo ewo ho muni tumi bia de solve ehiafo problem ma won na mum tumi a mobetumi ayisu e de akire mutumi a mo wo eno de kura mo musimuti aso wani wom.
He was going to shoot them. So we keep wondering, what offense did the man of God do? Did he murder someone? Now what I know is that even when someone is under arrest, there are lawful procedures to follow.
Anything beyond there is something behind.
So
yes,
if something happens beyond what has been prescribed in law, then there is someone engineering something behind it. I have not caused or staged a coup d'etat. I have not killed anyone. So why was it necessary that I would be handcuffed while I was on the hospital bed on admission at the hospital?
Mochimi ana mochi meni masofo mpa sanya kwan wesu no semofa sanya tuo no se mode ba masori.
Now I do not think that if you want to cause an arrest, you want to arrest me, that is the man of God, or any of his pastors, I do not think that the appropriate means is to come into the neighborhood of the church and fire shots in the neighborhood.
Afe Misha cells.
So I was in cells.
I'm saying 3 days as a 4 days.
I think I was in cells for about 3 days or 4 days.
The
things I went through, it is only God that bears me witness. Now I am saying this to the hearing of everyone.
In fact, yes, I am about hospital.
A second time I was brought to the hospital
because still not me home told me
because I was still not okay.
Anajo na aprosifo aba hono ma omode ayi shesho manim mask
face mask
face mask shesho manim o ma sa the handcuff abegu me sase omode make up.
Now a second time while I was in the hospital, very late in the evening, police personnel with face mask and arms came back with a handcuff and said that they have been instructed to take me from the hospital to the police cells. Now what I'm saying, God bears me witness. I can swear on my life and swear by the anointing of God on my life.
Revelation.
Now while I was in cells, I had a revelation.
Police for the handcuff Baako to say, the moon answer baako at the injection. Woman ha. Intimisomu revelation Timene Proswana Panyana no Buye. Intimitiamu more says for no omu me as was a bibeti. Oma am a witness. Emma omu bubus as the papa at the software they are in and I'm saying
now while I was
when you swadi emane ba physical.
Now, while I was in the cell, I had a revelation. I saw that I was sitting between two policemen who were armed, and one of them removed a syringe a syringe to inject me with a substance. I struggled with that person in the revelation, and I managed to break the needle. And I shouted from the revelation, and it came out. So everyone in the cells heard me, and so they rushed and said, "Man of God, what is wrong? Is there anything wrong with you?" Some of them are watching, and I'm sure they would bear me witness.
Enti tama yesan be family de me call hospital ho no ana me ka kire sofo na nakwasisa sofo revelation say ne manya enti abeya mamu nkofie mo ntwen because me suspect some confront person be bibi because me.
So when they came for me to take me to the hospital, I whispered to Reverend Anakwesi's ears and said to him that this is the revelation I've seen. So I told them they should wait and not go home. They should just be on the compound, because I believe that they want to do something evil to me. And so Reverend Nanakwesi and the others listened to what I said, and they waited. Hospital so while I was in the hospital, Reverend Nanakwesi, my son, and Brother Wule had parked the vehicle somewhere, just observing what will happen.
Afei yankoshe aprosifo a me se omode mask ahye omanim eba the handcuff begu me nsa se omode me kwa hefa no omode me kom omu nkyere me baby kro eno anso omode me kom.
Now so it happened late in the night that there were some policemen that came with face masks on and with arms. They came that by an order they must remove me from the cells, sorry, from the police ward, sorry, from the hospital ward, I'm sorry, from the hospital ward. They were taking me to a place. I asked them, "Where are you taking me?" And they wouldn't talk to me. They would say nothing to me.
Sir, na soften na kwasi ni awule mu ahu. So police found the handcuff agu me so mo de member.
So Reverend Anakwesi and Awule had seen that these masked policemen had handcuffed me, and they were bringing me out from the hospital ward, and they were bringing me out to their vehicle. So they moved the car,
police for car now, and
they came close to the vehicle where they were, in which they were going to put me. So Reverend Anakwesi got down and said, "Where are you taking my father?" And he said to them, "You cannot harm him. You cannot take him anywhere to harm him."
Mr. Chaso Reverend Chaso and I saw them penny for no money around.
Because he said to them that Reverend Charles Owusu and other elders of the church are all around. So he warned them, don't try to do anything evil. Where are you taking him? They didn't answer. So Reverend Anakwesi and the others made an attempt to video the vehicle, take a video.
Nyankopon shaw Solomon ohini obin otwa 400 star ama Nyankopon shaw bebre Solomon
of the vehicle.
Time mo de mask I show manim aba hospital nyina so na kwasi timi video bi.
And so when they came late into the night, they came to the hospital late at night with guns, and they were going to take me away.
Addo mo was super mo comment ne likes no ensu na Facebook MBA program no moman emma program no timi kwachi what you say na obi anti asemi bi mo share video no because me am studio ha now me reaho na me program we minim said ya watin katie so mo share video no likes comment emra mo share videos na video no entumi nantin kwachi say ya me ya no anya den abri mu a abonefo bi nam kwan bone so e de atro ne na de kwan be se okwampa no.
They took a video coverage of what was happening.
So that
is the car on the television you are seeing.
Na car ne number ya kwakoye a whole search Hyundai Honda Civic big car number and a police car no.
Now later on,
so-called police car,
we conducted a search and we found out that the registration number on the so-called police vehicle was a registration number of a Honda Civic vehicle, not a Toyota Tundra.
enti yemu say ho say anko de me koi.
So ask yourself, at that ungodly hour, where were they taking me to?
Anka de no mo de kwaya me.
And what were they going to do to me?
Adentina mo be family free.
Enti me bisaw. If say e adwen papa mpa e wo man no mo na emra na di reverence ko usu bempa and ye pese ye de mra e di papa no a. Why all this? Why all this? And a man can already promise me. Say me shall be happen reverence go usu bempa. And a man can say you wo. A man can do nya so hitu a or hitu so hitu aku. Ti sabre no munim se sabre na kombe tumi yi papa na fio na man can do ababontia be ka say sofo be chi ene mami gege ena akum papa no na okan papa na tie. So mutumi sosidi sa de o ya me say video amankrado na ka amankrado be baba ye no se sofo krobia sofo be chi ene mami gege ena akum papa no na okan papa na tie na sa ka wasan koma manabem. Why? So please please achi openi at the reverend ko usu bempa naka ye de copy a copy in the midnight akon ye the wrong ye the fake number and aboto and this out your number way and omuko di papa no bone anasa BBC ye and akwaya san crofo na aba ho abefa papa nde ne ko omunim crofo ko nya please okohe ka number na nya please number e ye obi hundai say Honda bi so and abedi bone no ko e de na abe e kuna to atwene. Eti so nyankopon na di ena me choti hwe on say Christ called the krom on Nazareth according to Bible say the krom for na kasa bopo efa no fro be potente ko gina so say omo kwo no amaniti abesi fam no wagu bone oni patime dwen etia no yonko nipa no ba ni onyam ka onyankopon so onyankopon ma na adum esane sabre no ebe hwim ne ba no fri won sem. Just imagine say papa ne bre na aso ena onyankopon anyi sa huntasam ne kire no ena anadwena sofo no nyina akọ omu fie ena omkode daaye ena ka papa no kwa ka reverence ka usu be pawe hospital ho obekwa ko fa camera bibia akwa ko hwe ka na ba no ukọbọ number plate na uhu ka akro ye kuna to atwene ntina se nya please nemo me yadne kwato hospital na crofobia be fa na kokunu nya sa na nka be ya na because menti ase se car no number plate na call no why Ghana please and when you na say order from above nti pani ben and na to odwen sa bone pani ben no munkoso na mo hwe bone kro no mo pese mudi sa brei na mo de pretumi no sa bone we ene matumi na hwa mo nka bi nhweda mi bube me kanyansa kire nyansani me say bone kro ne ba mutim sa mudi sa bone we na mo de pretumi no sa bone we anhwa ma mo nka tumi no bi nhweda mu wi asenkwa na nyina anhwa mo sefo mpo enka tumi no bi nhweda
Hospital na mo de mask ehhehhe manim adentina mo mpese me hu police wanim.
So why would you come for me from the hospital?
So what? Police for na call ho no omo nyina ahhehhe max midnight omo nyina aga that trimodi o me say me hu so bi kasa ma me na sacha na makoma e pompe se katai se me hu ma moyefo ne adwene mu hafo sabi mami you so word no nkwasiafo bi ti say yes afro be good man now the good man me so ochena we dey me ne wo video na ye fa me ho no aduru me nsem so tomorrow wo ne me ochena me metiw na mama Ghana fo nyina hu jimi a wa jimi e wa adwenem take say wonim nyansa ma obi asem ba wa no gba ba wo ti we agrada ba life bia no praise you e dey connection e wo good man wo yire ni agrada ntem connection be na da omontem connection ben and a good man e da wo ni agrada ntem mi bisaw anti obi ani agrada nya sama 50-50 why you want referee ba na udima obi odi opa obi anse obi attack agrada bia say good man so camera we den obe fire You see a demonstration, a good man so camera, or be fire tiamo. Or yeah, na I said ya fire grad that professional way. Ba obwa and pay master no. Munyina nyame hu mobo. Nyankopon hu mobo. Munyina nyankopon o hu mobo mako. O hu mobo.
With mask on your face. Why don't you want me to see your faces?
Enti so biti baby kase.
So if someone sitting somewhere says he does not understand
so for Osubempa so di yaw,
why Prophet Osubempa said he's offended, he's got bitterness in him, because I mentioned that I was so offended in the president of the Republic of Ghana,
your vice president so
and again I was so offended in the president of Ghana.
Neso biti baby kasasai no omromraso why ade anya na mra na di ade na me ye
now if somebody says that Reverend Osubempa is not above the law, and so he faulted on the law, and they were dealing with him in accordance with law. Now ask yourself, what did I really do?
Boni ame ye and say obi edi matem twa ntro to me so ema ebre bi kura me di abufuo ebe ye bibi odema no onipa de sanit mi twa ntro to me so say anadwo 1 o'clock bi oba me bedroom.
Now perhaps the offense I had committed was that somebody without any justifiable reason insults me, says lies about me, says all manner of things, defamatory things about me,
and on social media,
and will make it viral, say on social media that
to me so some meaning will be and
can go the extent of saying that I slept with somebody's wife, I have impregnated the woman, and the woman has a child for me.
And I just don't come back.
So the woman claimed she used to come to my house at dawn around 1 a.m. Which 1 a.m. and on which day?
So
there were times that I smashed anointing bottles of anointing oil here, if you can recall. Now I was doing so to demonstrate that what happened or what she was saying was not true. So this is what I said, that if it is true that that woman ever came to my house, to my bedroom, and saw snakes in my house,
sending messages, pressing my men, Abraham Yaminum Sanya no cre, say no cresse, Bibi Sa Honoma, Onyaminim confirmation.
Now what I said was that if it were true that the woman came to my house at 1 a.m. at midnight and saw all the things she claimed she saw, that there were snakes in my house and all the eerie things she said, if they were true, let God take my life from me that day. And if it is not true, and I know honestly that it is not true, let God deal with them. Now all these things happened, and there were certain chiefs in the neighborhood where that woman lives, and certain chiefs in Accra that came to my house. I did not invite them. They came to see me in my house. They said to me, man of God, we are not happy about what the woman is doing to you. She is defaming you, saying all manner of lies about you and insulting you. They said to me that we are the custodians of the lands of Accra. We are going to speak to the woman, and we are going to tell her to stop what she's doing, because it is peace that it is good that we foster peace, promote peace between the two of you. So one of the chiefs that came to my house on that day called me and said to me that they had indeed had conference with a woman, and they had spoken with her. And he also told me that the woman had agreed to settle the scores with me and to apologize to me about all the things that she had been saying concerning me.
omuni ekonoma kwache baby ahemfo no wo.
Now, so they sent their own men to meet me at church, and they were leading me. They were supposed to lead me to where the chief's palace was. Now, I thought I was going to ensure that there will be peace.
Something different.
It ended up becoming something different.
Now,
that is what is pending before a court that I cannot go into the details. Now, that day, or those that insulted me and blamed me, criticized me, why I carried guns and sticks and all manner of weapons to the woman's house, I'm sure the day I would explain the details of it, your teeth will be set on edge. I never took any weapon to any woman's house. Now I had decided I wouldn't go, but because of the respect I wanted to show to the chief that came, and the fact that I desired that there will be peace. Now, in the appropriate time, I'm saying, or I've said to you that I will explain what happened when we went away. Now, I have not done anything wrong. I do not know of any offense I have committed.
Now,
now, if the police intended to really arrest me, they had the option to come wherever they will find me to arrest me. But I was having church service, and it was during the church service that some people purporting to be policemen came around with guns in the neighborhood to shoot. You know where my church is situated. Now, you had the option to wait. Let me finish church and come and inform me that man of God, we have been sent to arrest you, so you are under arrest. And in addition to you, we are arresting Mr. ABC, because nobody is above the law. Now, we would have followed them quietly and would have followed them to the police station or wherever they wanted us to go with them. But instead, purportedly, they came around to shoot in the neighborhood, purporting to cause an arrest. But I do not think that is how an arrest ought to be effected. Now,
our hospital, Crawford, Maska Showman, when you know 77 previous, Tigana man penny, and they are vice president, and to no more mark, Dampare treating me.
Now, so all these harassment.
Simple question. We simple question, and a papa no bisa one. It is a what to fear. Now, tell us a papa no a business question where a problem. On the name dia we and penenforce your buffalo tom from on the name dia efa the nantem on the name the problem awanya on the name baby your coy on the name the see sa night no nyanya mia because ye car number plate a coy near the compare what you say ye the compare car no number ni what you say hwe car no wura ni mo hwe de na wo so no we dan hun die car no purpose ni. What you say? Tundra na ekosi hono sa tundra we what you say we ne ho purpose ni me ba hwa we eyedan eye tundra ana me boa nye tundra na wo we tundra so eyedan e na ho purpose me pa cho hwe Honda me ko we so kra na em say we ne show say Honda Civic hwe car ne hwe Honda Civic and go on obi anhwe Honda Civic. What you say? Tundra noa midnight and Crawford Max. Kofa papa na free hono. any otundra and a coin number plate na a bought a chino almost crazy yano can open person a Honda Civic. It is simple question. His Excellency and Addo and a vice president and a Dampare a yard we are now because ono papano the oti and oti you police station one the oti and say order from above. Eti me bow why and no tesoro na why and a man crowd catch me apostle to me life he say agada ne mpanifo kasa epunu and a boss apoi na me hwe ade be happen no wusu bempa si ya no kan na boss audio no wati tio enti ade because no nim say ni pakum de on to me kan kire me ene de say na no ye no du kakra so mbe kum papa no ba o ma meti ase say me mfa mani to fam na me hwe ade a ebe happen to papa no and Sunday no so e kwache no o ma me ya gwe say me hwe ade ebe happen Sunday papa no bisa enti reverend as a kosu ben pagana papa etie say please nim say wa ye bone ne ye papa ya chena ye ntumi nya ne nche no say Sunday e wona so ndem tio we are simple questions and e koso ha but ye benya emma bia omutire wuo adan wo mo nyansafo abetra media no so say wo ntia se papa no kasa na wo na to wo a ka be ka ono atum obi akoka owu ahwe aba wangu waba na oka de siye ewo na yimu a na wo ono gbagbagbagbagba betra ho oba besia we manipulate mu nyina eto mamudi mo betra sa na mo kanse munu hwe ka na ko no enie good man nyansafo ebra na behwe ka na kofa papa no midnight max enkofo kwa no yep omu nyina hye max e de ka we ne koe wo na wo hye mu wo so kwa na ko hye ka na ye ko check em eni please ka kofa papa no midnight a omu ko nyina hye max aman ka do ka kire me se me ntwen na me hwa de e be happen papa no na mpanimfu a e ka se epunu ambodi ba so se apostle se papa no ene sa mpanimfu gina fon so kasa wo be ko wachi se papa da twetwia no hontokro nyina ampa ne ekoso nyina atesa sabre na reverence ko usu be pa hontokro nyina twetwia nti wo obi ka chem sa man ka no odwana num kwasa ni pa na no ho ya besere o se papa no wo twetwia no hontokro nyina ampa papa no fa phone efrem panifo ni mo mu nyina pani ba ko ponya ne kasa no o se papa asam na bro me so mitumi di otosu mi enu say wo betimi atowa fra wo yonko sofo no na ono na betimi ne vice akasa ama vice ama dampare agya dia oyem
and more treatment while I was at cell and I was on admission at the hospital. All these things happened, and I'm wondering whether the president of Ghana and the vice president of Ghana instructed the IGP to treat me in this manner. Very soon I'm going to end what I have to say. But I have not staged a coup.
Armed robbery.
I was not involved in an armed robbery. I have not gone to anyone's house with a gun to shoot anyone. And I have not gone to anyone's house to threaten the person to kill him or her. So imagine the way they treated me. Why do you think they treated me in this way? So when I said that I was offended in the president of Ghana, and I was offended in the vice president of Ghana, I feel I have a cause.
Nkameka ma fedi enya bechi me kokumi say ya mia nkameka ni yie pa nka this time de meka na mane chi wo mu yie pa na o ma be fa me kokumi na o matimi adi o mutumi na mo ho to o mo wu akọ mo fatumi nka ho na nka o mo fa kwa ya mia ni akama no no nti papa okwa de waka dodo no wa dodo no dodo
sankanya nyame na bia mane ma mi hu ne e na mi nua osofo na na kwasi ene me brother papaya awule ene me back ofi ena nko mo de car ebe pie nkrofo iso a ka menim de omo koye mi o.
Because if the Lord had not revealed this to me, and if I had not informed my brother Nana Kwesi, and if they had not waited in the neighborhood, I don't know what these masked men purporting to be police people, I don't know what they would have done to me.
Ensembi apie free baby, but men person meka e wa ha.
There have been certain things that have come out from certain quarters that I don't want to talk about.
Anka fa omo be fa me sa na dwono. Anka omo me fa me kwa. Na bibi e wa ho anka omo kwa akoye.
Now that night when they came there to take me in their mask, they did not come to take me for no reason. They were going to do harm to me.
Brahma bre. Ama abaya wote na konya so.
Now I have suffered and toiled for the incumbent government.
And nam ye Ghana man pani so nti enkrofo e de meto tankuru amu.
Good man, me say ochna hwa
Ghana kurum ha
hwa me ya ma se ka me bo video no ba me kati ba bi kakra bi na ma bo o video no ochna na me dia ka me video o ya me personal a me meet ochna obi anti o ha. According to good man, say veva ze ko usi bempa ena sana uye ya sasa ne kanwa ene enkawoso wadidi former president Mahama Tem na ono so kasa odi o keka nsem bebre mi bisawo tie papa na yisu ase papa na kansem bi wa o se nti bra ama bra certain president hui de dia ye mini o kan besi so ni hunti manya otan ben ebi ne Mahama de a wo kan ndo se say ade a wadwen a function kama na good man wadwen ye adwuma video na wo ye no enka ho kakra no badwen ho asem na wo ka no se nya agrada na atua wo na wo ye sa me se me del be che sa agrada na wo yire ene wo connection ben na da montem mo pepa no abonten krofo hu na wo ba wo ye sa professional wo fire no ba 50-50 hwe I say referee odi match na ya bribe no odi atia wo utumi nya penalty yeti no utimi ya penalty onye na ma utrima ya ude se referee de o fair oboa o se na sa penalty no wanje no na after penalty na wanje ma unachi wanje entia unachi no wo be sha sia afili hit no 50-50 no wanje etia wo unya advantages o jawo ma ko se pro no about wo what you say obedi wani match no makopem so be wuso alusu sana fake referees ebi na good man ye no I saw no jam medal, but only baby or can answer Mako. All me in the video no what tan show. Unya smart but no what tan show. What you say? Sure. What some now count chame address you hoka can. What did your papa noka? Papa no say because of certain precedent in Tino when ya or tiny be no wine. Ye any more time case your papa payanya. Me say, me share sa video ma se ahwebiem was son them wona emna na reverend as ko usubempa person yenye ono according to reverend as ko usubempa say papa na kwa na request so mecha me refi story no kokko chia former president ye papa Mahama NDC for amananko nti hwe otan na papa na nya certain president hu enti nka bone ben kwa na papa na ye anti mutumi bopo e for sa fake kawe midnight e de ko for papa no free ayare sabia kana e kwhwe na kano ne number plate ni kano ne ho purpose ni nipa kwa ni nyina hwe monhwe ade mo yedi pa no gina ho please ni ogina mo hwe wakata na nim nyina me bawo da ben na Ghana police as ye share max da ben and a midnight almost as ye share max konkro fofie
Now, because of the president of Ghana, there were many people, including men of God, that hated me.
Yes, I saw phone there. I saw phone be them town papa. I saw phone be town and no cre. What you say? Papa no abreu. Ever as a coast be pound. Yana. I crofo kasa na mitie nsia. What you say? oye nipa nkasa oba wiase akoma ekura no meje ni se bi ne kura wo what you say because enyoma fa papa nani so e wo Ghana no enyoma fa papa nani so e wo Ghana said the Akufo sie di papa wo yani na emu mpanimfo tumi akotete kromfo tachu amoa oba kromfo wei kromfo ba wei echi
he had hatred for me.
Sanse nyame kasa kire me afa ne ho no me ya ne se de nyame pesa me ya me pepe.
Because when God spoke to me about the incumbent president of Ghana, I did everything to the letter according to the instructions God gave me.
Ade amem pene se nyame be fam so aye bribia ma obi na me ka no nipam ana me pene sa.
Now what I don't like to do is to talk about something God has instructed me to do for someone.
Hwe ya sorry sebi previasa voter ye sebi ye nuanom angonafo aibefo ene nkrafo no mu asori mu pa asori starting o Mamprobi Plaza because of said ye me se kasaye e ma ban
omunyina ko
ema bebre de
dofo
Now
what you say now ye kan okra ye bie no kan okra na ye nya nkrofo bi adwene mu hafo atona omo ye enuoma imu hia yes ye nyina kan bi se papa na nye enti se ene me ba obi enti wa Samuel eko Jesse okodru Jesse no the onyankopon soma no se onkoye no first impression owura fie no mo no o ma bad judgment obianti owura fie no mo a ne first appearance e wo fie no mo a dia ohun ye no osusu se say na adnete mi bi se o ebra so finding out good man or tame address o e wo ha mebie wa adwenem na ma kire wo nyansa ebra so find ebra Samuel finding out say Eliab ne the chosen one edian oye okoso kan ye se medika kadada se Eliab emom ene odi hine no enti even Nyankopon kra mama hu se nye ono ne the chosen one se le se me koso de manana emna me be pia sem no no se dia me hu no me hu se reverence ka usu be mpadifo but me am kokokoko eko ben sa opponent no na me hwe o makwan no me hu se eye nintan ne otan ne abro ena nkrofo bi pese e bo papa yi me bisaw enti eno ti ka me nkoso a na me ntan papa na good man otan me no be sia one on one sa fe wo hwe video no bi afi wo hu ntia ye mu bi no ba out sa papa ne innocent hwekwa ne di papa na faso ke kokuna to atwene ndi se sabre ku papa no ena papa na meka na asema me ametie good man tie nyansa me ametie ka papa no wo me ka ho bi en ka reverence ko su bempa wo me apostle atwi ka me ka ho bi ne ku papa no enti dia minim se enam me so atia no se mani apre na me kra na abrante ka wano tum ne pe ba bitena yemu binum nyanya atwem samo mentomi yefun menfam yefun nante mensaso mechi kakra eti mentomi conscience ema obia sadia wo kan no wo de ocha monkoso an yentie reverend ebesi sesia esi penche course no be hyase eti wa pesa ofre bi atobo ase esia mefre atitiru mienu bi abaso after omono me bie phone line atuna obia akasa akana boso asemene etime free so nko monko so an share video no.
Forgive my description, but there were many people from the Volta region who were members of this church. In fact, this church started from Plaza Mamprobi. Now, because of the way and manner I was insistent, and I continued to declare what God has said to me about the president of Ghana, many of the people were offended. They stopped coming to church.
The reason I make it some way, assembly say afimuni.
Now, the reason I want to talk about this matter is that it's been about a year that all these things happened.
ɛna nka yɛ free mu ana mi wu ya anka afini.
Now, so if God had not intervened and something evil happened to me and I died, this would have been our 1 year anniversary.
Mene Ghana man penny otia convention crofo. Ye bompire continuously for 9 months. Every week ye shiamu 3 times a week. And yama me ye efa ban ho. Sa me kasa me Canada ma. Ene me ne Ghana man penny ye kokoa mu nhia mu. Sa me kasa me kana ebe ye obi anwa. Enti mu amote ona mu di atem. So usu bempa wo moromra so na say no munim enyama mafam enam Ghana man penny nti.
Now we continue to pray for about 9 months continuously. Myself, the pastors, and some of the members of the governing party, we met 3 days every week continuously for 9 months. And we prayed and we did I had personal meetings with the president. We did so many things for them to come to power. So so those of you who sit somewhere and say that Prophet Dampare is not about the law, he can be treated in any way or manner, you don't know what you're talking about.
Menka say maye bibia magana man pani enti me tomra mamra ne meni o. Now ba mra no eni meni wo mra kwa so e. Now
I am not saying that
I am not
saying that because I have done something for the president of Ghana, I am above the law. So when I do something, the law cannot be used against me. But I think that lawful procedures must be used. And even to talk about that, what did I do wrong?
Dientia ema semi so si mami wadi matem sa still asem no court no da so di matem wadi matem sa eso minte na tembi menkasai entimpanifo ni hunu ene mami nkasa so onya sa.
Now this woman continued to insult me. When this case started, she continued. She still continues to insult me. So are there not any people here in Ghana that can tell her to stop what she's doing? Because I am not retaliating, I'm not responding.
Enti ensemble de na me anim ni so we are blogger and I say we are juma radio station baby na ti baby ka say han usu bempa no office no na man na Akufo be president enti de na ada oboro mraso ama me pa chawo unnim ana unnim de wo me ne na Akufo adontem enti ka wono tum ana ekwa mo de me fa so sanka ya wa anka nya wo de enti obi afra no yes afra no Mr. Fred our US and Nkrofo and so for Subempa and a jai a day at the Obrom Raswana. Hey, me patch I'm Rabban and say, see will be to hospital. Yanfa Hankofenko Gunuso, Abra Dream Citizen. Na yen 2 trip on em Rabban and Chessa. Em Rabban and Chessa, Monconco you will be in free hospital. Now press for Kakamo to be show money mask. Namonfano Kank of Munusa, Namonfano baby on Missa.
Now, if you're a blogger or a journalist,
Saturday Fred no crowd papa men how what bonny di cramia what you say. Saturday Fred no crowd men how on who big na no interview honorable Canada Japan catches a munim yansa. Okay, papa no catch any pay life. Because question will be papa no said that the Fred Jimmy or catch any pay life. Me pass a video na bebo or catch them. What's the honorable Kennedy on so send for so life or catch them? Some of them Jana Ujini. It is Uncle was some bar. Na omu ni wafa. Said your Messia canon with no evidence. What not me one name that different. Auntie Papa, what you cry the man how? What the encos?
Or you are you're on social media. Please don't make comments about things you don't know about. Don't say about me that I've helped the president and so what. In fact, you don't know what exists between myself and the president of Ghana. I believe that if I've done something wrong and you want to deal with me according to the law. But I don't think it is lawful that someone is not sick, he goes to the hospital, and you instruct policemen with masks to come and take him from the hospital bed while he's undergoing treatment to take him back to the cell. I don't think that is lawful.
And
so I said, indeed, that I'm very offended in the president of Ghana.
Nana as Nyankopon shira bebre otwa 200 star amayin fefefe Nyankopon shira Nana asi Nyankopon shira bebre
timimpo amfefo amfreme
now
musa se osofo bra na mekwa na nko busam so osofo adentina wa ya ade a wo yeye no na me se me ka me side of the story nchiro na hu say oh say anya sa na de anything because asem we opani bia me kire mo kire bia say and anya sa any attain abonten it is say assembly dia me sa so nete
sa pepepe me ameti hey me here obi foforo emeka nchem say dia papa no kan sa nete because me mabehu asem no beginning audio na sofo ba chi emu ye agrada free program no so agrada be deny say onim sa audio no hye me ametie me makohu se maame no odi atro eno kwa che se no nsa chai se dia papa no be kai no sa audio no aba me ho o kira me try se me hwehwe date man crowd de send this audio no e de bre me ni nyina me hwehwe sa date no na me dia twso ma Ghana fo ahu se sa audio so nyina na ya mpampa sa grada e na de man crowd some fama BJ na BJ fa megu papa nanim ase tiede na grada e hwe wo papa yi. And neighbor Pimene, Mammy to be Gina Ponting, a Kamagana Funia Tisse, a temno deep papa na papa Yashi, Sasabi, Jan and I on a noom, na papano sabi, or your quasiano, or say, papano teano, Nasa called Jitum. Emma's happening, Jude Penny, me what me won't ya, a dear men famano, Penny be out in Chewy, Tietia be out in Chewy, Papano cross at Temagra de Diano, Nessa.
Throughout the entire episode, all the things that happened throughout the period, the president could not.
Lydia Educhumwa enso etwa 50 star amai and was signed the Exodus 14:14 account amai Exodus 14:14.
Even take his cell phone to call me and ask me, man of God, what happened, or invite me to it wherever he wants and ask me or condemn me or criticize me or chastise me that you have done what is wrong. He did not even give me the permission, the opportunity to explain what happened. He didn't show any concern at all.
So
somebody will ask, so man of God, why did you then not go to him to tell him what happened? Some time ago, when he wants to see me, there are particular people that call me. And if I want to see him, there are people I call. But when that thing happened, I call everyone and no one answers my call.
What you say? Enti papa no bisa se na nanado his excellency nanado nimu bia na obia me no ekoba na asema tumi na Ghana no so ne kase de otumi kase epuna na yewo Daniel Sentim amoa enso etwa star amai Nyankopon sha no bebre what you say me frewa onfa nipa etwa ho asia a metumi fresi won so no omo nyina obia adoge me and amanka do be ka kire me say papa no ho ntokro nyina atuatua kwan be ne fa so a papa no ho ntokro tuatua ye cause nkrofo bi ekobo keys ya ban papa no say na oka what you say Joyce am wanting mensa ye nyina wo Ghana Nyankopon sha no bebre wo trust amai and agrada be bo key e bia na mo refri me kai mo. Say only reverend as a kousu bempaye one. Na on pesa omuko bu president o so omuko sen control me refi sa story no. Say mo bekaya. What you say? Into papa na ya painting the black. Say the Pharisees no. Any him for na maimu for become bom painting Christ black. Ma o maimu nyina oti ne papa no kan na safo no na igbe ni nkranfo pii wom a no moye no Hosanna and that's Akufo nyina be crucify him adentra because he penti papa no ama Akufo bi ho papa no so evil
any chain akwa church ase we mu ache
so then
ama na hunu sa ade na sie na nya me mfom
so how would I have had that opportunity to go to the president to tell him of what happened and to say what I know about the matter?
Police ni pie no horoma oba ha so oba be chi obi a me kan se mono enya no kre.
There was no police person that came to the came within the four walls of this church to cause an arrest that I instructed the members of this church to beat up.
Even omumpa edo mo call dance man no. Me nam kase enfo mo sheka mo call dance man because me feel so be nipa bonefo. Na metimi am ya bo apresifo. Na masam ya dia apresifo a sheka mu siansa enfo mo police station.
Now the people that
it doesn't make sense.
That those on the streets caught, I was the one that instructed, let's take them to the police station to make a case against them. Now how can I, knowing that these people were policemen, beat them up and then take them back to the police station to make a report against them? It doesn't make sense. So if I said I was offended, the reason I said so is that I have gone through a lot of struggle for this government, and because of that there is a lot of hatred. Because of the president, I put my life in my hands. There were people that could come randomly to us with guns
because of
just because I was supporting the president. There were people that came to my house. There are not all things that happened were the things I mentioned to the hearing of the public. But just imagine how I've struggled with prayer and fasting.
Kofi Odlo Zach
And in spite of all this, is this the way you want to say thank you to me? I'm done with what I had to say. So when I said I was offended in the president, it is because they did not treat me well.
Order from above.
Now, those
Vida Adua Gazy and so a star. Am I star is tulip and so as a star beam and your piece of Amai. Yakupon Koso and Sham.
So if you think I talk too much, anyway.
Dixon Asamoah and so a star Amai. Yeraho, but a stars no bar never. Obia Raho, what you say. Nana Efia Sewa. And so a star amai Nisiono so basa asam na agreho mempai bonus won't condemn near ato papa ma ebinto cause a very painful it kind of crutch what you say nti yemfa ya adwen ko yeboa Isaac and so a star amai yemfa ya adwen ko bibi so hwade se onyankopon and da bibi edi anche papa ama wonyi na sofo na suti ama sofo no and stay asofo no nyankopon sam wo odo what you say papa ni shem no na omo no paki abonte omo nkofi omo paki ho ene ebe se ebe tam papa na kwa die na kebesi what you say eno anse krofobi akamukafobi na abefa no akokum no nye police car na abefa no se hospital no the car number plate no maw na wo ko check ya tundra na ba ho but Honda Civic obeda hu car no nipa so e ba ye no omo nyina hye max obeda hu omo kokuna to atwe na motena oman mu de boni se ibu oman a ebeda na onyankopon ayi boni nkata so afiri mu so ama motumi anya ni onyam e wa mamu onum na oman no brekwa because of my dream boni anything that before you petumi a yetimi so desperate why Bruni the hard work or qualify near the position amano. Yet the manner a sense of brain or nya yentino or to me perform kama. Yet then your own performing part on Nampone Quansu become the past sancro or copet to me, yet the man so toka. because of adwin bɔne nti moma yɛ adwin mu nti ma bɔne moma yɛ adwin mu nti ɛmfiri bɔne ho na onyankopɔn ti n'anim kyerɛ yɛn as a nation.
In my shoes, if you walked a mile in my shoes.
Yeah, them control says 3 days. Let me use washroom. 3 good days. Let me use washroom.
Now, while I was in cell for 3 days, I never used the washroom
because there no door.
The washroom had no door.
And I said you're hot, you know.
And the way the place is, I don't even know where I'll step my foot.
3 days.
So for 3 days, I did not drink water and I didn't eat. I've been through a lot. So when I said I was offended, even if I had done something bad and they were treating me in this manner, so what did I do?
Nana Addo Nyankopɔn sɛ bebree.
Annoyed and I was offended.
Nana Addo etwa star am I?
If you don't understand my story, don't insult me.
Na ebresem so says I be cancer ma you be say be cancer.
Nyame sɛ governors go su bempa. Nyankopɔn sɛ ɔma enioma papa bi a ebetumi ama we ye nyina akɔ ɔmfa ma wo ɛwɔ abrabɔ mu. Ɔte ase. Onyankopɔn ma adɔfo a wasere enyina onsanka ne nyina mmɔho sɛdeɛ ɔyɛ Job no onyankopɔn nya saa ma wo ansa na obɛfira asase so akɔ no yiyadie bia asi w'anim no onyankopɔn fa ho de emetata w'anim ansa na obɛfira asase so Kofi Oduro azak for onyankopɔn hya Kofi MC ya Canada onyankopɔn hya w'anan mu mmɔho ye mu binom kind of pains a ye cause wo saa bre no yiyadie ene na ye bɛpɔn wa ha onyankopɔn hya mo enemo ya ade mama na ye fefefe adofo mo to stars ma ye nyina nyankopɔn onhya mo na onti nanim emfama mo aha ene yede mo besie monte menka bie mu a nyankopɔn ya adoma ebre a esem no ye besan ne mo aba behia sani ameka ye ho ya adom na bibia nsi na ochena ye tinkwam na emoja edi emu afusane a ochena menemo ebe program ochena nyame nhyiram